Alright, this video will give you a little help if you're needing some on the vertical motion problems. Just remember, even on the test or worksheet or whatever it may be, I would always give you the formula. In this case, here it is: h equals negative 16t squared plus vt plus s. I also recommend when you're starting these problems that you should probably put those variables off to the side somewhere, because usually in the information they're going to tell you a bunch of those variables. Or h stands for the height as the object is traveling, t is our time in seconds, v is the initial vertical velocity, the upward force given to it, and s is the initial height of the object. I'm reading through the first one. Austin said he's trying to improve his golf game. He's on a par 5 at Piper Hills, and his third shot is from the fairway. Hits his 9-iron, and he hits the ball with an initial vertical velocity of 64 feet per second. So write an equation that models the height of Austin's golf ball as a function of the time since he hit it. Just remember on these problems, often h and t act like our other equations where we've had x and y in the past. So usually when we're done writing the equation, we'll still have those two variables in the problem. So usually the ones that we're looking to put in right away are v and s, the initial vertical velocity, and the s stands for the initial height. So in this case, initial vertical velocity looks to be 64 feet per second. And the initial height, again, unless they give us an initial height, we're assuming we hit it off the ground. It looks like in this first part of the problem. I don't see anything in terms of an initial height. So yeah, I would assume we're hitting just off the ground, not off a hill or anything, or off a cliff. So I'm going to say that the initial height is 0. So our first equation we're going to write is with h and t still in there. We're going to plug in the initial vertical velocity and that initial height. And so this one will look like h equals negative 16t squared plus 64t and plus s, but again s is 0, so I don't even have to put that on there. So there's our initial equation, though. That's what you should start off with first. It says the green is the same elevation as the fairway in part B. So how long until Austin's ball lands on the green? Well, we're assuming again that we're hitting it from ground zero. Hitting from ground zero, and then we know it's going to land on the same elevation because the green and the fairway are on the same elevation. So there's our course right there. And let's say we hit the ball from again to here, let's say to, let me just get the pen instead. Let's say we hit it from here all the way to the green. Again, for that parabola shape, well, again, we're starting on ground zero and hitting to, again, the same elevation, so we can assume that's 0 as well. So the initial height was 0, so then h, the height as this ball is traveling that we're looking for also at this same point is going to be 0 too, just like it was for the initial. So just like we put 0 in for s, we're also going to put 0 in for h this time. So it's going to look like 0 equals negative 16t squared plus 64t. And now we can do some things to solve like we've done in class with problems like this. It's set equal to 0, so that means I can start doing some factoring things. And as I look at that, negative 16t squared and 64t, well, I can take out a t for sure. So I'm going to do that. And also, I think I can divide both those by, you can pick some number, but try to pick the biggest one always. I can divide them both by 16. And since it's negative as well, then when that leading coefficient is negative, my hint has always been to take out a negative. So I'm going to take out negative 16t out of this. And when you do that, again, it's all equals 0. When you do that, we should just get t minus 4, I think, when we're all done. And that alone right there, now I've got everything. There's no more t squareds or anything, so I should be able to solve and say what t is for both my solutions. So t equals either 0 or 4 seconds. And of course, then given those two choices, well, 0 seconds from our original picture, remember? Just throwing it up here one more time. Well, here's our picture. Ball's hit from here to here. Well, both these things make sense. Here's time 0 when the ball's still on the ground, and here is time 0 when the ball actually lands back on the green. So how long is the ball in the air? Well, in this case, it's 4 seconds. 0 makes sense, but it's just not our answer for this one. So 4 seconds for that part. Okay, part C says after how many seconds after you hit the ball should it be at the maximum height? Going back to that same picture here for a second, remember, and I know that's not a very good parabola, you guys, okay? But where should the max height occur? I'll draw it a little better here in yellow, but it should be at the midway point, right? If it starts and ends at the same height, then the midway point is where it should occur. Well, we found out that the ball was in the air for 4 seconds. So I'm going to go back to my original equation here. I'm going to rewrite that, what I had from part A. H equals negative 16t squared plus 64t. But now I am trying to, again, just for this part of the problem, this is a different problem. That's why I'm going back to this original, first of all. I am now trying to find a height, correct? It says, what is the maximum height? And now they're giving me a time, or at least the time that I should know. And if the ball's in the air for 4 seconds, then the max height should occur at 2 seconds, correct? Okay, so I'm going to put 2 in for t and for both places in this equation, and that should give me the height that I need. So I'm going to go over here where I still got a little more space. So this should be h. Now again, now I'm trying to find a height. Equals negative 16, and now it's max height occurred at 2 seconds as we figured out. 2 squared plus 64 times 2. I'm going to keep just evaluating here and using those numbers. So let's see, 2 squared gives me 4, and 4 times negative 16 just gives me negative 64. Plus 2 times 64 gives me 128. Negative 64 plus 128, I think, gives me 64. So h equals 64 feet. Must have been the max height of the ball. Okay, for part D, I've already kind of drawn a picture for how this one's going to look. It says, let's say for this question that instead the green is located on a hill that's 48 feet above where Austin is hitting the ball. So kind of going back to our equation now from part A, as it says, it's going to change a little bit, right? So you can imagine, well, now he's hitting the ball from the fairway, let's say, and he hits it onto the green. I'll draw a little better arc here than last time, a little better. And he's going to hit it up here to the green. Well, now the initial spot, our initial height is still 0. But what I'm now trying to find is kind of when this ball is at a height of 48. And so, as I'm making up my new equation, and I'm trying to find out how long, trying to find out a time, that kind of gives me the hint that t is what I'm trying to figure out, and I know the heights. Well, now, going back to my original equation with h and all that in there, s is still 0, the initial vertical velocity they told me is still the same, but the height that I'm trying to figure this out for is now 48, not 0, not when it lands back on the ground, but when it lands at a height of 48, like we said. So, I'm going to put 48 in, you'll see how this is going to work out, or maybe you're starting to as I write it down now too. 48 equals negative 16 t squared. Again, we're trying to find out the time, so that's back in there, plus 64t. And now for this one, again, how do we factor something? Well, first we've got to get it set equal to 0. So I guess I'll have to subtract 48 from both sides to start off. So minus 48. Again, because I don't have so much room, I'll probably just make that into I'll make a better 48 here first, but then I'll just make that into a 0, minus 48. And then so this side is going to cancel those two 48s out, and it'll just become 0 over here. So then I've got 0 on this side, which is what I want. So here's my equation now. Again, when I'm starting to factor, the first way you should look to factor, I've got it set equal to 0. Now I should see, can I take something out of every one of these? And yes, I think that I can to help out. I think, again, 16 is going to be my key number. And again, it's negative. My leading coefficient is negative, so again, look to take out a negative 16 when you're doing so. So it's still going to be 0 equals, but I can factor out a negative 16 out of everything. And that will leave me with something that's a little easier to factor. T squared minus 4t plus 3. Now again, looking at this, can I still factor it? Yes, I can. Take a look. That's t squared. At least I'm going to try to factor it, and yes, I should be able to. I need factors of 1 and 3 that'll get me to 4. I think I've got a combination that'll do that, since there's the only factors of 3 are 1 and 3. So I still have that negative 16 that I factored out. But now I'm going to have t minus 1 and t minus 3. And so my solutions end up being 1 and 3. Now, we're going to go back to our picture here for a second, because again, as you look at those answers, 1 and 3 are both positive numbers. So you might think, well, both those answers could work, right? Yeah, kind of. Remember what we're finding out, you guys. We're trying to figure out the ball is hit. And then here's the height of 48 feet, right? So we are trying to figure out when is the ball at a height. And here's a line that just marks 48 feet. I guess I could draw it even a little better, but when is the ball at a height of 48 feet? And maybe you can kind of see what I'm doing here even with my first line that wasn't as good. Okay? Ugh, not so great, but you can get the idea. When is the ball at a height of 48 feet? Well, it occurs at 2 different times. It occurs here and it occurs back here, right? And so you can imagine, well, this is 1 second into the swing when the ball's on the way up, okay, on the ascent. And then as it gets to the max at 2 seconds, as we figured out last time, and then starts coming back down, well, now at the second part, here's where it's at 3 seconds. So 1 second over here, 3 seconds over here. So which one's our answer? Well, then 3 must be the answer. But you can see why we end up getting 2 possibilities for this, because there are 2 times when the ball is at a height of 48 feet. But if we're trying to answer the question how long it's in the air in this case, it's going to be 3 seconds. You can see how 1 makes sense for what we plug in the equation, but 3 is going to be our answer. Okay, and the second problem on this worksheet, I'll go through this one a little quicker. I've already got a few of the things set up already, but it's Tia practicing tennis. She hits the ball when it's already off the ground at 4 feet. She hits it when it's 4 feet off the ground, but hits it a little and goes flying out of the court. She hits the ball with an initial vertical velocity of 63 feet per second. So I've already kind of got, again, our 4 variables set up. Again, they've given us the initial vertical velocity and the initial height. Okay, check, check. We know both those. And part A then is just to write our equation with h and t still in there. And then we'll see what they want us to do for a question. So h equals negative 16 t squared plus 63 for the initial vertical velocity. And then in this case, plus 4, because we have an initial height that the ball is taking off from. So in this case, s is 4, so plus the 4 at the end. Okay. Good, there's our setup equation. Part B, how long until the ball hits the ground? Okay, so again, in this case, just looking at our question, how long? We're trying to figure out a time, right? So we're trying to find a t, so we must know what h is. And again, in this case, till it hits the ground. We know that she hit it when it was 4 feet off the ground, but the ground otherwise, usually, unless they tell us something different, is going to be 0. So when I now make my equation, I'm trying to solve for how long it's in the air. Well, I'm going to have 0 in for h. So 0 for h. I'm trying to figure out when it hits in the ground. How long is it going to take? Negative 16t squared plus 63t plus 4. There's my equation now set up to solve for t. Taking a look at this one, I can't really factor out any other number. Like none of those numbers are divisible by the same thing. I can't factor out a t. The one thing I will do, though, again, is to help, is either you can think about moving everything to the other side of the equation, okay, or, again, we sometimes just talk about factoring out a a negative 1. Either way, same idea. I just want to get that leading coefficient positive. It really does help what we're doing in terms of the signs that we know and how the rules work, okay? So I'm going to move everything to the other side or factor in negative 1, or however you want to think about it. 16t squared minus now 63t minus 4, okay, equals 0. Now, as I look at my factors, again, it looks like there's a lot of different options here, right, for 16. So sometimes you might be like, oh man, I'm in trouble here. 1, 16, 2 and 8, 4 and 4. Like I got 3 options there that could be. Luckily, 4 at least is just 1 and 4 and 2 and 2. So not quite as many options there, thank goodness. But it looks like a lot of combinations. But I've tried to give you guys the hint too. Look at that middle number to help you. That's a big middle number, isn't it? 63. And so then when that happens, usually then try to look at some of the bigger combinations, or the combinations that have bigger numbers, like 1 and 16 or 1 and 4. And what do you know? You might kind of notice, oh, 16 times 4 is 64, which is pretty close to what we need. So I bet if we use that combination, there's something we can do there. So let me start off my binomials with 16t and t, and then 4 and 1. And how can I get that 16 to line up with that 4? Well, then the 4's got to be over here, doesn't it? 4 and 1. Because multiplying those two together will give me 64t, and multiplying the insides together will give me 1t, and if I could find a way to subtract those, that would give me 63t. And I need to get negative, though, so I guess I have to be a little careful with the signs, but I think I can do that. I think if I put a minus here and a plus here, that is going to give me negative 64t and positive 1t, which combine to give me negative 63, which is what I want. So there we go. There's it factored correctly. Again, I can't, as you're doing these, you start to pick up on little hints like that, and you will as you continue to do them. That all equals 0, and so t equals negative 1/16, and then positive 4. Again, of those two options, negative 1/16 is kind of like even before she would hit it if it was following that path. But it's obviously not going to be our answer. We want 4. After 4 seconds, the ball hits the ground.